Hello, everyone. Good evening. Warm welcome to all at MESC Red Devils NCR. I'm once again joined by Antariksh, and after the loss of Brighton, I and Antariksh have had some time to reflect, to recollect, to gather our thoughts, and we've come to a certain clarity of mind as far as how this season has gone on, the games that we have played, the performances that we have displayed overall, the highs, the lows, the improvements, the shortcomings. All in all, we've had a fair assessment of things, and now I and Antariksh will go ahead and discuss the way ahead for United. As everyone knows, the season is not yet over. We still have 5 games left to play, and 6 if we include the FA Cup final as well, which adds a lot of significance since this time it is directly upon us to make sure that we stop Man City from getting the treble, which is a monumental effort in themselves. Because as far as recent results go, they've got 3 points. They've won against Leeds, and I think they've extended their lead even further. In in disappointing news for us, Chelsea managed to get 3 points, so that automatically saves them from relegation. I was eagerly looking forward to that part where they could have gone in potentially into the mire in the relegation scrap, but wasn't to be, unfortunately. So all good things come to an end, and unfortunately this one did. So Lampard gets on the board finally. Wrong timing for us, perhaps you could say, but then let's see how we take upon the game. So Antriksh, let's start with the first question. Uh, there is a lot of talk about we looking very touchily behind our shoulders on the chasing pack, considering after the loss against Brighton, where Liverpool are 4 points or 5 points behind us, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the likes of Spurs. I think Spurs also won their game against Crystal Palace today. So that breathing room which we had has become less. It's become narrow. With that being said, do you still think that United will comfortably finish in the top 4?
Right. Good evening, everyone. I think, as I said, I mean, I was even looking for and aiming for top three. A very disappointing result at Brighton. The previous match, and was pretty gutted to not, grab hold of that 1 point which we almost had in the bank with both our hands. But I still believe that top three is gettable. But as far as top four is concerned, I think it should be easy, as we discussed earlier. Although top three is not in our hands, but to drop top four would be Spurs level pottery. It would require some proper Spurs DNA in us. Probably some more rumors added in the mix of Harry Kane, maybe some more of that DNA to get us not through the line. But I really think, even I guess Jurgen Klopp, I'm not sure if the quote is an original or a fake one, wherein he said that the maximum they could get is a certain number, and we only need to get 8 points to match that in our last 5 games. So I think that says it all. I mean, Spurs are, I guess, 3 points behind us and have played 2 games more than us. So I think, although that breathing room is not handsome anymore, but it's still fair enough to take us through the line, because only 5 games in the Premier League season remain. So yeah, I see us being there. If not, well, it's like almost. I mean, no, I don't. I just don't see us not making the top four anymore.
It would take, like you said, a catastrophic turn of events, But then, being the devil's advocate, this is a phrase that you love using, and you've used it a lot throughout the course of the teams that you've been in. But being the devil's advocate, Brighton, let's take the Brighton loss, for instance. Didn't deserve to lose, but we lost. Such is the nature of the game, such is the unpredictability of it. Say we go ahead and we do drop a little, on the off chance that we do drop points, that because Liverpool's fixture list is also pretty forgiving. I think Liverpool and United, out of all the rest of the teams who are chasing for top four, have a pretty comfortable fixture list. Brighton's fixture list is diabolical. They play Arsenal, they play City, and they play Newcastle. 3 big teams. So I think somewhere down the line, Brighton's definitely dropping points. So I don't see them challenging for top four, although they are in the mix for maybe a Europa or a Conference League spot, which for them could be a massive boost.
For sure.
Making European football for the first time in their club history, considering the fact that they were on the verge of administration a decade ago, goes to show how big and how monumental their journey has been. Then we come to the likes of Spurs and Spurs. Spurs are Spurs, but you just cannot know, because there is something I've seen about Ryan Mason in the two games that he managed. I did not see the Palace game. I will have to see it. But in the two games that I seen the Liverpool Spurs game and definitely the United Spurs game in close quarters. There is something about that guy, he's played for the club. He knows what it is, what it takes. Maybe they should have appointed him interim all along, because he has
Hmm.
two games straight. He's got his
Yeah.
team to rally back and get to a position of level, of equality. While he managed to get hold of that point against us, he's not so fortunate against Liverpool. But coming 3-3 all from 3-0 down, and 2-all from 2-0 down takes a certain level of gravitas. And
It
I
does.
think Mason has been pretty dignified on the touchline as well. So you never
It
know.
does.
Spurs could nick out a couple of results if at all we end up stumbling. So there are possible scenarios where we could actually find ourselves out the top four, and we don't have the comfort of the Europa League as well. So winning games becomes much more important. Now let's take one game at a time. Now we have five fixtures. I
Yeah.
think we play West Ham, Bournemouth
West
away,
Ham.
and the rest
Yeah.
of our three fixtures we play home. That
Yeah.
is, we play Fulham, we play Chelsea, and I think we play Wolves home. Three
Yeah.
fixtures there, and two fixtures away. So let's break down each fixture one by one. West Ham first tomorrow. We'll definitely go into the preview and the build up for the game tomorrow once again, when we'll sit about and discuss
Do
what
join us.
exactly.
Do join us. Yeah.
Yeah, for that, please do join us in that game. Do join us for that discussion as well. It's going to be a great one. Do you think we win that game? Yes or no? And do you think
For
it's
sure.
convincingly?
Oh, for sure. I think that's one of the problems that I've had from United for the past 5 years. That we have had to bounce back too much in a season. We need to have, I guess, 15 bounce back match weeks in a 38 game Premier League season. So that tells us everything. So I do think we'll bounce back. And as far as Spurs are concerned, although you're absolutely spot on, I sort of saw that spark in Mr. Mason as well, but he sort of gives me one Ollie's vibes, and secondly, I mean, like Spurs sacked the interim coach as well, so like they've got to have some shame, like unko bas bhagna, like they just need to fucking run for their lives, and they are quality players for fuck's sake. Like there are a couple of clubs, I'm just so. I don't know. I'm just so jealous of them. I just think like this is our club. Like I'm going a bit off topic here, but like United. So we see absolute bullshittery in terms of the overall management and everything. And whilst I don't know really what's going on behind the scenes of clubs like Everton and this Chelsea and even Tottenham Hotspur for that matter. But one thing that I've noticed, they've at least signed 20-25 quality. Like at the time of signing players, they are one of the best players available in the market. You look at the
So have
likes of
we. So in that instance, we've done the same. Let's take a look at some of our signings. You're speaking about Everton. You're speaking about Spurs. You're signing quality players. Let's take a look at our signings. We've had Di Maria. Yeah.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Falcao. Although not the version
No,
that we
to be
expected,
honest,
but still.
man, I wasn't going that back, but like we can have like I was sort of talking in this 2-3 year range, the likes of Ndombele, Lucas Moura, sort of gracing Tottenham and coming, these right backs as Regulon.
Lucas Moura has been in Spurs for more than
Ha,
he's been there for quite a while.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, my bad.
he's been there for
Like
quite a while.
Regulon, like you get like
Regulon's not at the
Reguilon.
club. Regulon's
Yeah,
not at the club
exactly,
anymore.
exactly. That's what So is an Ndombele, Matt Doherty. They're sort of they're sort of getting
Speaking
players.
speaking
Yeah, go on.
speaking about Ndombele.
Yeah,
Ndombele has won the Serie A with Napoli, so that's another player
exactly,
who's left Spurs and won a trophy.
exactly.
So, but
That's what I'm saying.
the point with
The
all these clubs is,
yeah,
they're pretty diabolical from an administrative point of view. Let's take Everton in a
Hmm.
microcosm. Everton have put in a lot of money on players who've done jack shit for them.
but
James
it's like but that's what I'm saying. It's what the fans wanted at that time. James Rodriguez, everyone was fucking excited about him. And like it was
But
Abdullah. I remember that window wherein they signed Abdullah Decore, they signed Gray, they signed Allen, they signed James. They signed a couple more. They signed that guy from Norwich City, that centre back / right back.
Godfrey.
Yeah, Godfrey. They signed Godfrey. They signed another centre back or a left back. They signed Luca Dean some time ago. Agreed, but Then they soon replaced him with Mikalenko as soon as he was gone, another young. So I don't think like I again, I don't know. They could be Glazers for all that I care about, but I'm just talking about from the signings perspective. And so like we're United, we're making great signings, but we also expect top four, top three, top two. They're Everton. They expect top 10. They're finishing 17th every season. So I don't really think owners have been as bad as 17th to 16th. I think they have a Spurs-ish problem wherein the culture at the club and the players, the rotten core, is sort of being propagated squad after squad.
Also, when you have Frank Lampard as your manager, you can't expect much. You cannot expect
Exactly.
much, precisely. Then, after I don't know the order of the fixtures, but then I guess after West Ham we play Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves won against Aston Villa, so that's a huge shot in the arm for their survival hopes as well. I think that's another fixture where we can win comfortably because it's at home, it's at Old Trafford. So even if we take the 5 games, even if we win the 3 games that we have at home, we're home and dry. We basically sealed our top four aspirations. So let's assume that we draw one of the games, we win all our 3 games, and we draw either one of the West Ham or the Bournemouth games. Because let's be honest, in spite of the loss against Bournemouth, they're pretty fucking amazing. They were very good today also, and for a lot of people who had Bournemouth in their list of going down immediately after getting down or getting up in the top flight, they've done a pretty damn good job of making sure that they're surviving for yet another season. So I think Bournemouth away will be a pretty testing fixture, and Bournemouth have kind of sort of been our bogey team while they were in the Premier League in their last stay. We've gone ahead and stumbled out there pretty much. I remember Junior Stanislas scoring from the corner. From a direct corner. Then we had Josh King scoring against us.
Those days of Fraser and Wilson, they were trembling. They were fucking trembling.
Fraser, Wilson, Dan Gosling, then Harry Arter, Matt Ritchie.
Those two were my FPL legends, like those two and Lundstrom. Lundstrom to chal puri duniya ka tha,
but that was for Sheffield. Lundstrom was Sheffield.
Yeah, Sheffield, of course. But like those two, man. I used to go out with them. They were 5 and 6 million each. Used to fucking give 25 points each match week for like 10 games in a row.
And they had Howe, and they did have Eddie Howe also as their manager. So that's that. So we've pretty much sorted, and we've pretty much unified in our assessment that top four shouldn't be a problem unless we decide to shoot ourselves in the foot. That is our consensus. I think most of the people who are in or associated in and around United also have the same opinions, that unless and until we do something stupid and we pull out something out of the bottle that is beyond bottle, top four is ours for the taking, and it should be so up until the end of the season. So now obviously we've had a mixture of individual performances taking us over the line, as well as games where we've performed as a fully functional unit. Now, in this point, I think it should be more of a team effort, but then I think it's time for some players to once again stand up and take the onus of leadership on them. Speaking about that topic, who according to you would be that player who would be, who could be the one who could who could push us over the hump in that final stretch? Like there are a lot of players to choose from, but if you had to, be nitpicky and pick out one player in particular where you feel like, okay, he needs to assume responsibility and, usher us forward while the rest of them follow suit, who would be that player?
I think, if there is one player that, I believe when he has a good game, like a perfect game, we have a perfect game, that's Casemiro for me. If the guy has a perfect game, we could have Bruno having the perfect game, which he's been having. But fuck all, I saw the stat which has been wilding around Instagram is his expected assists were 15. And, he should have been in the De Bruyne ilk, at least this season in terms of his performance. And rest everything, Bruno was in front of De Bruyne, except assists. And expected assists just a bit. But he should have had 15. But, there was no one to sort of score. Rashford could have the perfect game. Like we saw, he was in the mood the other day. But for all we know, he couldn't get the ball properly into the channels. So if there is one player who we know could have a perfect game, and that could give us defensive stability to then move on the ball forward, is Casemiro. And sort of talking about that, I think some of the players who are not playing could be important for us. How well they come back, how early they come back, and in what shape they come back, and in what form they come back. So, the likes of our centre back pairing, so they could play a sort of a decently important role. I guess Martinez is out. They were saying for the season, but I sort of read
Ten
somewhere I
Hag
think
also Ten Hag also
could
has Ten Hag has confirmed that he won't play any part in the season. So that means he
no
won't be making a
FA Cup,
return.
no.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Ten Hag has gone on record in the press conference before the Brighton
Right.
game and said no, he's not. It's not happening,
That's a bummer.
and it makes a lot of sense. You do not want your player to get rushed. Let him have the entire off season to recover if it takes, because we do need him fit and firing.
Yeah.
Especially with the takeover situation in limbo, we still do not know what is going to happen. So there could be a pretty realistic and unpleasant scenario of the Glazers staying.
Yeah.
Which means that there could or there could not be further investments made into the centre back issue. So which
Yeah.
means give Licha all the time to recover, and let him start preseason, and then let him start the season fit and healthy.
The
Makes
the by the worst would be, us actually staying in a limbo even after, the transfer window closes. I mean, if Glazers still believe that they could get rid, they could get some sums of money, they won't invest a single fucking penny into the transfer market. So, like, Burnley had this situation some time ago wherein they were changing ownerships, and all they spent was, I guess, 9 million on one player, and two departures were 20. So they earned 11 million, and then sold the club to someone.
This is the
So
current state of Inter. This is the current
yeah,
state of Inter Milan, where
yeah,
they're.
right.
So I have a conversation with a guy who is a diehard Inter fan, and uh, their owners just can't put any money in because of the Chinese regulations that don't uh, allow investment into sports. So in spite of having a club, he's not able to put any money, and the fact that they won the Scudetto a couple of years ago without any investment goes to show a lot. They had to take a loan of close to around 270 million just to keep the club functional, and that is the reason why Inter is currently on the market. Not many know about this, but Inter are looking for prospective new owners in the Serie A market as well.
But they've been on
Uh,
the market for quite some time, haven't they been?
since last season, since the start of
Yeah,
last
exactly.
season, because
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
so the thing is, the institute from where these guys have taken a loan to function the club, it ends, the validity of the loan ends somewhere around this year, and if they default on the loan, the investment company automatically become the default owners. The catch
Oh,
here is they don't want to do anything with the club, so that is the reason why they've been on the market for so long.
right.
So that is what it is. It could be that situation where it could get ugly, but then I think that's a discussion for another day for now.
Sure.
So my point on Lisandro Martinez is, let him take the season off, let him recover fully, and we need him fit and firing for next season, because it's going to be an equally bigger season next year onwards. Apart from me, this is a very very left suggestion, a very left opinion, but I think what we've been missing is unpredictability, freshness, someone with direct running, and someone who oozes confidence every single time you get the ball. And that is why my pick for a player who could very well go ahead and make a difference is Garnacho.
Yeah,
He's almost. Ten Hag has said he's fit. He's fine.
yeah.
He's almost. He's all. I think he could play a part in the West Ham game. Not sure in a starting capacity or from the bench, but we do need Garnacho's direct running. We do, because Garnacho can make things happen right from the moment he's put on the pitch. And in a game as tight as Brighton's was, Garnacho was just the spark that we could have
Yeah.
had, and he could have made a difference, because you could see after a certain point that even the Brighton players were tiring, but we did not have the players, personnel, or the quality that we had to make them pay on those tired legs also. So
Agreed.
in that perspective, Garnacho becomes a very very huge and pivotal part. But apart from him, if I had to say, I'd say Rashford, because
Mm.
Rashford has only two Premier League goals in the last 3 months, after having such a brilliant season. So that's on the overall metrics. This stat gets lost, but it's safe to say that Rashford will have to pull up.
Mm.
Just go. I think it's that injury which he had. I don't know against whom. I think it was Everton. Yeah, I think that injury he has against Everton, it's somewhere still hindering him. But
Right.
thankfully, it's not come to the point of the 2021 21-22 season where Rashford was just
Just
morbidly
playing. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
hanging around. No, he wanted to do something, and like you said, he was pretty much in the right space of mind against Brighton. Uh,
Mhm.
but like you said, taking chances is something we'll have to do because creating chances has never been a problem. You
Yeah.
can see Ten Hag's most basic principles taking effect to devastating effect while we are building up our play, while we are making those chances. But those chances need to be taken. Like bigger teams, that is part of the reason why our away record is so wretched.
Yeah.
We've scored less. I think we've conceded twice the number of goals that we've scored away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
only
yeah.
against the top eight sides, but against
Right.
teams away in general. I
That's the
think
thing, na bhai, because like at home you can create fucking 25 chances and you can score two. Away, when you're away from home, you create eight, and then you
you
score
have to
none.
score. You have to score
Exactly.
two. You have to score two or
Exactly.
three of those,
Yeah.
and also some of the problem has to be mentality.
Agreed.
A
Absolutely
soft
agreed.
defense. A soft
Absolutely.
defense, for example, one moment's distraction and then they make you
Yeah.
pay. So you cannot do that, and I think this is something that we'll have to get better in
Even at
and
home,
start with
bhai.
next season.
Even at home, Delvin, bhai. I've just seen. I've just seen. When we are holding on to leads, like our game management is shit. Like our game management is so shit. Like since the time of Ole, I sort of know this. Just because we have pace on the counter, we'd always keep two people on the counter. So when it's 2-1, we defend, but we'd always have that eye for the third goal, which I sort of don't like. Like either we don't ooze the confidence like City does. They just keep the ball. Like they keep the ball and they don't let you touch it. They don't do an Unai Emery or something like what Atletico Madrid does. They don't let the ball come in the play. First of all, that is that. We don't even do that, or neither do we go to these corner flags and try to waste time for the 86th. We'd probably do that in the 91st minute, for fuck's sake. When it's too obvious that we should do that. So I really hate the fact, Bruno, the likes of Bruno is between, the like just in front of the D, the D, and he's ready to make a long ball to Rashford, who could make it 3-1 on the counter. I would really love for Rashford and the likes of even Weghorst just joining into the defense and just committing to the cause for once. I don't really like our game management, our time wasting, quote unquote, and game management skills. I really we really need to improve on that, I believe.
A part of it comes down to the fact again that we don't have the right personnel on the bench to call upon.
Hmm.
But then again, I think maybe Ten Hag's school of thought is a little different on how to manage games.
Right.
So the cornerstone of every team is how every manager deals with gamesmanship, or how every manager wants to deal, or how to manage a tight game in such. In Simeone's case, it's haram ball. But you shouldn't be surprised because he does that for 90 minutes. And
Yeah.
I'm not putting any sort of slight on that approach. That approach has won him two La Liga titles. So let's be very
Hmm.
clear about that. If any approach works, you cannot slight it, and
Yeah.
it worked against us also in the Champions League
True.
when they beat us at Old Trafford. So
Yeah.
that approach works for all of the slander, for all the vitriol that it gets. That approach works. Then we come to Pep's approach: just keep the ball and kill the opposite side. They can't attack you if they don't have the ball.
I
Simple,
don't really think we
works.
can do that, like in our wildest
Not
dreams.
yet. Not
Yeah.
with the players that we have.
Yeah.
Not with the backups also that we have. We're still a couple of windows away from making the squad a full Ten Hag squad. So
Absolutely.
we still have some
Absolutely.
way to go on that, which is why I think Ten Hag is not able to also manage games properly, because this is a ragtag bunch, which is a mix and match of players from different managers. Moses put it very eloquently that we still have players of the Mourinho era
Yeah.
in the side. And
Yeah.
Fred comes to mind first. Fred
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
mind. Then Martial comes to mind. De Gea
Although,
comes to mind.
although, although every manager has fucking loved him since they've been here since Mourinho. Fred has been a manager favorite since like
been a manager favorite, but has a very polarizing view when it comes to the
Absolutely.
fan base.
Absolutely.
That's the problem. We have a lot of players who have polarizing views
Absolutely.
because they are like Gennaro Gattuso says, sometimes good, sometimes shit, and most of
Sometimes
those,
shit too.
yes. So most of our players have been doing that. They
Yeah.
put 9 on 10s on one day and they go absolutely
Yeah.
negative on the other. So you don't know what to expect.
Mhm.
So, coming on to the next question. Now, there's the small matter of the FA Cup final against Man City. Now, in the past Manchester derbies we've played, let alone the ones which have decided the title, none of those hold as big a significance as this one, especially as far as a United standpoint is concerned. Because this could very well be the game that we stop them from winning the treble. Because I see them cantering to the league from here on. There is no way Arsenal are stopping them. They've got this in the bag. They've just got this in the bag. Champions League, I'm not really sure because I do think Madrid can, but whether or not they will remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Especially now that the first leg is at the Bernabeu and not at the Etihad.
Hmm.
So if Madrid want to kill the game, they will have to kill it at the Bernabeu. They sure as hell can't do the comeback that they did last season at the Etihad this time in the second leg. That's a dead certainty. So my question to you is: do you see us winning the FA Cup? Keep the United fan bias aside. Talk from a rational point of view with the stuttering end to the season that we are having and with the Rolls Royce like precision that City are going about their business with. Do you have do you see a chance where we beat City apart from penalties?
Of course, when we just talk, when you twist the question from will to a chance, I'd say yes. But when you say will we win, I'd be a fucking diplomat like Jay Shankar. I'd be one. I'd be one if the world seen one. So that's the thing. If there's a chance, there's a bloody big one. There is, with the potential this squad has got, with the kind of football we can play, we've shown, even the counter-attacking threat that we've got, for sure we can. Considering that it's okay, it's not away, but it's not at Old Trafford, the stingy, the muddy end to the season which we're having, and as you said, the Rolls Royce precision at which, if I had to put my money, you know where it's gonna go. But if I, again, the heart wants what it wants.
Once,
So hence
exactly.
why, so exactly why I'd say we'd always have a chance. One, we're Man United, and we are a better Man United than we've sort of been post SAF. So I do believe, and one of the most helpless things I felt as a United fan in recent years was this Liverpool winning the league and Man City potentially winning the title, the treble sometimes here and there. They've had sniffs all over the season, and we as United fans used to request the likes of Chelsea, please win the game. Real Madrid, please win the game. Liverpool, please win this game.
This
Aston
time it's
Villa, please
us.
beat them. This
This
time it's
time it's
fucking
us.
us. That shows progress. That in itself shows that we are getting into the business end of the season where we decide matters. Yes, of course, we'd want us to decide titles of a bigger nature, but hey, we get to stop them from winning the treble as well as add another trophy. So like that'll be something amazing. I mean, apart from the Community Shield, I think it's two trophies that we've won post SAF, except the Ten Hag trophy aside. So like we've won two under Mourinho. That's it, right?
We won the FA Cup under Van Hal also.
Oh right, oh right. I completely forgot that Van Hal existed as well. So like it's almost going to be that 3 and 2. We sort of get that, and then it'll be the Premier League as well as the Champions League. So, anyways, my point was that we'd almost win the number of trophies as we did combined in all of the managers. But yeah, we have won three, so that's that. But yeah, I mean, I'm really glad, first of all, that we are in this position, that one, we can stop them ourselves. Two, we get another title in the bank, we do so. But coming to the original question, if I have to put my money, it's going to go there. But heart wants what it wants. So that's it.
Final question. Uh, do you think that this season is a success? irrespective of whether we win the FA Cup or not? Or do you think that if we win the FA Cup, the season is a success?
No, I think, and I'm gonna go out at this with Hindi. हम fans को बीमारी है, बहुत बड़ी बीमारी है और लालच है of success. Of I get that lalach, but when that lalach becomes toxic, I hate it. Remember what United have been for the past 10 years. Remember what we were last year. I'm happy that we are losing games. The past 3 months, मेरे को डर लग रहा था we were becoming what we were under Oli because we were scraping through results. And every game we were saying, well, in games like these, it's the result that matters, not the performance. I don't want that. You don't say that about City. You never say that. Even when they're getting their 1-0s, it was a fucking Rolls Royce. Even when Liverpool wins, I know they've been shit, but they win. They play like they've been playing for the past 6-7 years. So I'm very happy that we are losing because we are supposed to. Look at Arsenal. Like, bimari chodo, fans, bimari chodo. Arsenal ko dekho, they were fucking dog shit for 2.5 years. But I remember every manager coming in and saying, Mourinho was like, I take a minute. He fucking beat Arsenal 3-1, 4-1. I take a minute to appreciate Mikel Arteta,
Arteta, yeah.
the defensive this, that. Guardiola saying, fantastic, trust me, he's going to win this.
Although he has a soft spot for Arteta, but Mourinho saying that did make Mourinho saying that
even Klopp came out. So and I couldn't make sense of it as a footballer. I was like, bhai, Oli ko they judge like a fucking queen, and this guy fucking wins nothing. We're in finals and we are judged and they are not. But they stuck with it. We've won a trophy. At that point, if we get, I'm so agitated right now. Even before the season, I was happy without top four. Like, take me as a pessimist United fan. Fucking remember, Chelsea have fucked up, so have Liverpool. And Newcastle have stepped up, so have Brighton. Tottenham had fucked up. They're fucked, but still they're fucked up. So that was like 7, 8 teams in the mix for top four, us excluded. So that makes it 9 teams. Almost half the Premier League was supposed to be competing for top four. We make the top four. The season is a success. Like, hum 30 the bhai. We've gone here. I'm so grateful we're here. And I'm happy that we're facing stumbling blocks because, overnight success and, ek season mein title jeet jana, these are Contes and Benites of this world who don't last for more than 2 years, and the Mourinhos of this world who don't last for more than 2 years, 3 years. Right now, I want the Guardiolas and the Klopps of this generation who win a trophy here and there for the first 2 seasons, but there are patterns of play. I can see some sort of dominance, some sort of non-counter-attacking football. And so for me, this season has been a success. I firmly believe we'll get the top 4. And even the top 4 for me is a cherry right now. The football we've played, the signings we've made, I think this season is a success irrespective of the FA Cup final.
Yeah, you judge a season based on the improvement from last season. And obviously the improvement that we've shown compared to last season has been astronomical. Although it would leave a pretty bitter taste, like we spoke about earlier, that if we don't get top 4 from here, it's definitely going to leave a bitter taste, no doubt about it, no two ways about it. But the progress is pretty palpable. You can see progress. You can see a genuine upturn in fortune. You can see the manager taking control. Give him the support he deserves. Give him the players he needs. And maybe that next step is a matter of time. So
I even forgot that Ronaldo happened. Like, we've completely forgot Ronaldo happened. And he has had to go through some shit.
But even though I think it could have worked out if it had to, if it could have definitely worked out if both the parties had, let go of their inhibitions a bit, where if Ronaldo had accepted that, I am not him, maybe, but then I think it doesn't work that way. So let's just leave it at what it is. So all in all, we're pretty hand in hand about what we think about this season. Long story short, we do believe that United will finish top 4 at the end of the season. Anything from here, irrespective of what happens, the season is a success solely based on how we've performed and the quality of the players that he has improved. We are not favourites entering into the FA Cup final, but we do fancy to get a result in there if we want to, again. And last but not the least, the only thing we had difference is that the players that we were talking about. So I think that is obviously that goes on a fan to fan or an individual to individual basis. So it's not exactly something that we disagree upon. So once again, Antarish, great discussion, man. Thank you so much for joining in. Also, thank you to all of them who will be tuning in and watching this video. Do go ahead, smash that like button. Do subscribe to our channel, and do share this video across to many United fans as you can, so that we can reach out to many more of y'all. Do press the bell icon so that you're notified for any and every video that we come across. We will be joining you all tomorrow as well with the build up for the West Ham game, where we will be talking about the game. We'll be talking about the conditions and everything and anything that's surrounding the game. We'll be building up to the game. Hopefully, it's a positive result for us tomorrow, but we talk about that tomorrow. Pretty active on our socials, guys, on Instagram and on Twitter. Do go ahead, drop us a follow. The link is in the description below. Also, join our WhatsApp group. There is room for more. Every day is match day on our WhatsApp group. Once again, the link in the description. Do join us. We're more than happy to have you on board. With that being said, we come to the end of another episode on MESC Red Devils NCR. Thank you so much once again. Do join us again. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you on the other side. Till then, it's goodbye and GGME.